First up, we've got a pretty weird episode from season 7, A Pal for Gary, an episode where SpongeBob gets Gary a pal, but that pal ends up being a very evil monster. But what we're here for are mistakes. Here's the first one.
Poor little snail. Just wanted some fun time. I can only imagine the tortured loneliness he must be feeling right now.
This one is very, very weird. Now, I don't think I need to explain this, but right here is a PNG of our boy SpongeBob, and as you can see, on his SquarePants, he has a black belt. Major part of his design, but, well, in A Pal for Gary, when SpongeBob is walking away from his house near the start of the episode, let's take a look at our boy's belt for a frame because it randomly turns white. Like, what? It's only for a split second, so obviously it's not that big of a deal. It goes back to black, but look at that, dude. I'm zooming in. It is white, and that is not correct, and neither is this next mistake. Take a look at this one.
Heat up, you two. Gary! What happened to your manners? You be nice and share.
Yeah, if you thought that one was bad, this one's worse. It's kind of funny as well, though. So, when SpongeBob carries a food bowl into the living room, let's take a look at the inside of his mouth for this one frame, as it appears to be yellow. When, of course, as you guys know, the inside of a mouth is usually gonna be like red or pink, and in SpongeBob's case, it's always red. So it being yellow here is just very, very strange. Very weird mistake here. And there's more. Here's the next one.
Sheriff, I nabbed your bank robber. There's your culprit right there.
Man, 3 mistakes in one episode? That is wild. Well, this one needs some explaining. So, throughout most of the Western crime movie or TV show that Gary the Snail is watching, throughout the episode, we see this cowboy fish right here. And he's always in this like normal olive green design, all right? This is how he looks. Remember this. Remember it. This is how he looks. But in the very last scene of this show that is shown, this just randomly changes. The animators forgot about that olive green design and just randomly color him purple with a blue fin, thus making for a strange continuity error, which is really funny because this is a mistake within a show of a show, because Gary's watching a TV show and there's a mistake in this show. So I just thought that was kind of funny, but let's head over to another episode of SpongeBob, guys, with some wild mistakes. Things are about to get wild.
Found some berries we can... Where did you get the kelp cake?
From the vending machine.
Next episode is a SquarePants family vacation. I love this episode. I love episodes with SpongeBob's parents in them. And here's the first mistake.
Are you getting hungry?
How'd you know?
I could hear your stomach growling. I thought for a second it might be some kind of scaly monster coming to eat us.
This one's pretty straightforward, but when SpongeBob and Patrick are walking through this like mushroom forest, and SpongeBob says for a second, I thought it was some scary monster coming to eat us. This is really bad, but our boy loses his entire left arm for a frame. Like, it's just not there. It's only for a frame. It does come back right away. But dude, look at this shot without his arm, and yeah, major mistake here, guys. Let's keep it moving though and head over to another SpongeBob episode with some wacky mistakes. Let's head back over to the classics. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Season 2, the Steven Hillenburg era. We've got Something Smells, a very special episode. And you know what? Before we get into the mistakes in this episode, there's 2 really bad mistakes. Here are some funny clips from this episode just for the sake of it, and then we'll get right into the mistakes.
Everyone is running away from me. Watch. Hi, building. Your breath stinks. Really bad.
See, I'm happy I did that. Such a nostalgic episode. It hits me in the childhood, but let's ruin that childhood by exposing that first mistake.
Guess what's for breakfast? That's right.
As you just seen, after SpongeBob goes from his bedroom to his kitchen to make the sundae, when he opens the door, we can see his bedroom wallpaper, all right? Instead of his living room, which is totally a mistake because SpongeBob's bedroom is not located next to his kitchen. It's located upstairs, as we've seen in numerous episodes before. So yeah, very weird mistake. I don't know why they put his bedroom wallpaper as he's coming into the kitchen. Totally a mistake. And here's another one from this episode.
Ice cream. Guess I'll have to use something else. Ketchup!
This one took me a couple times of watching it to really catch it, but when SpongeBob opens the giant ketchup bottle and squeezes it into his sundae bowl, disgusting by the way. Putting ketchup in a sundae, disgusting. If we look at his hands though, his right hand is on backwards. Look at this, I'm zooming in. Yeah, that hand is on backwards, And totally a mistake, a really bad one too. We ain't done yet though, gang. More mistakes to come, and you do not want to miss them. Let's keep it rolling.
As if the answers to all your problems will fall right out of the sky.
We're falling right out of the sky!
Next up, we're talking about one of my favorites, Club SpongeBob. I love this episode. As you guys know, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward get trapped in the kelp forest, and Squidward nearly starves because the magic conch shell just does not like him. That thing does not like Squidward. Now, during one of those scenes where Squidward nearly starves, we have a mistake. It has to do with SpongeBob's drink, all right? Watch this.
And after all, the club gotta stick together, and...
Yeah, so you guys may have caught it, but as SpongeBob is drinking his drink, the actual liquid in the cup does not go down at all. Like, we can see the glass with the liquid here before he picks it up, and then when he's drinking it and puts it back down, nothing changes. And you know, I'm nitpicking, but this is a mistake. Like, I wish I had infinite orange juice like SpongeBob over here, but that's just not... That's not how things work, bud. I am very thirsty now, though, I can't lie.
You stupid clock!
This one takes place closer to the beginning of the episode, but the tree and the clubhouse are facing the road at the beginning, right? All right here you can see, and there are many trees seen. But after SpongeBob and Patrick insult Squidward, the tree and clubhouse have completely moved and are turned 90 degrees to the right. And now there are barely any trees shown. Just to show you too, here's a side-by-side comparing the amount of trees before and the positioning of the clubhouse, and it gets worse. As when Squidward climbs the tree, he is facing back to the road, as you can see here, all right, facing back to the road. But then when he tries to get out of the clubhouse, it is again rotated 90 degrees to the right. So like, is it facing the road? Is it facing Conch Street? It just constantly changes. Very messy, very, very strange. And here's one more from this episode that's from a similar scene.
You stupid clock!
Did you guys catch it? Well, when Squidward rides on his bike, he leaves his door open, all right? It's open. But then seconds later, as soon as he tries to get back down, the door is just randomly shut. And here's the thing, no one would have shut this door unless like a random other pedestrian incidental character came along and closed his door. There's no way his door would have closed. So kind of a weird mistake here. You can see they drew it with the door open and then forgot about this and drew it with the door closed. Not a big deal, but still a mistake. And let's keep it moving, guys. Here's another episode of SpongeBob with some wild mistakes.
A sign that you're a true boob?
Yes! No! That this song and I were meant to be together.
Great. Now I hate two things.
We've got a little season 7 action coming up for you guys. This next episode is from season 7, obviously. It's Earworm, and it's all about SpongeBob getting addicted. Like, he becomes addicted to this song that he cannot stop singing in his head. Just like I'm addicted to exposing mistakes in SpongeBob. I'm so lame sometimes, guys. Here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Try to comment it before I reveal it, all right?
Oh, she dropped it.
That's it, boy. You're done for the day.
Did you guys catch it? It's a weird one. So during the pan shot of the messy kitchen in the clips you guys just saw, these condiment bottles right here are blank, all right? And there's this cabinet that's over here. It'll all make sense in a second, but remember, the condiments have no labels and this cabinet is far away from SpongeBob over here. However, when Mr. Krabs is sending SpongeBob home, the condiments now magically are labeled despite them not being labeled a couple seconds prior, and that cabinet that was originally farther away is now closer to SpongeBob. Here's a side-by-side to show you guys I'm not capping. This one's totally a mistake. And here's one more from the same episode.
Trying to escape it,
This one's kind of similar. So when SpongeBob messes up the Krusty Krab kitchen, there is a stack of Krabby Patties near the back left corner. Remember that stack of Krabby Patties. Now I'm hungry. As when SpongeBob eventually runs out seconds later, like literally seconds later, that stack of Krabby Patties is missing. Now maybe Squidward came along and moved the Krabby Patties. That is 100% a mistake, guys. 100%. And let's keep it moving. Lots coming up. Up next, we have a very underrated episode of SpongeBob, the Pink Purloiner. Purloiner, a tragic episode where SpongeBob thinks that Patrick has stolen his jellyfishing net. They get into a whole beef. Here's some clips of them disagreeing, and then we're gonna get into this episode's first mistake.
Why did you steal my jellyfishing net?
What? I'm your best friend!
You were my best friend, you no-good jellyfishing net thief!
Poor Patrick, man, he didn't even steal anything. I know I just spoiled the episode, but he didn't actually steal anything, just saying. Anyways, though, here's the first mistake.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, SpongeBob!
Did you guys catch it? It's kind of funny. But when SpongeBob and Patrick arrive at their houses and SpongeBob opens his door, there's like a duplicate door behind it for a couple of seconds before it disappears. When of course, there should only be one door. I don't think I even need to tell you guys that. It happens really quickly, pretty funny. Not as funny as this next mistake though. Roll the clip.
Hey, Patrick, wouldn't it be the funniest thing if you had taken my jellyfish net? I got you a present. It's a Confess-A-Bear.
I know you guys caught this one because it's very, very blatant. I don't know how the animators missed this one. But when SpongeBob is about to give Patrick a Confess-A-Bear, the left side of him is completely miscolored. It's just not colored in properly at all. Here's a side-by-side of how it normally looks. And yeah, very strange mistake here. That definitely was not supposed to happen, and neither was this mistake right here. Pay close attention, guys. Let's see if you guys can catch this one. Let me know in the comments if you do before I reveal it. All right, take a look.
I'm staying in Bikini Bottom! Hooray! Wanna go jellyfishing?
You need to pay close attention to catch this one, and we'll definitely need to slow things down and pause for you guys to even see it because it happens so fast. But at the very end of the episode, after the bus takes off, one of these passengers' faces changes colors. It's this dude right here. First, he's colored like this, but then once the animation starts of the bus moving away, it quickly just changes and his face is now this color. Here's a side-by-side, and bro, that looks really awkward. How does the dude's face change? I'm genuinely curious on how this mistake even happened from an animation standpoint. I'm no animator, but this wasn't a layering issue. It's just very, very strange. Let's keep it moving though, guys. We've got lots of episodes coming up.
Look at what happened to my house. It's gone. Where am I gonna live?
Hey, SpongeBob, your house is gone!
Next up, we have the episode Home Sweet Pineapple, and here's the thing, guys. Cartoon Corey has been on a quest to cover all the mistakes in every single season 1 episode. I've been doing it slowly throughout multiple videos. Some videos will be focused on one episode. Some videos, like this one, for example, I'll have a small section, and right now, we're gonna cover every single mistake, every one, in the episode Home Sweet Pineapple. We're looking at nearly 10 mistakes in this one episode alone. Here's the first one, roll the clip.
Hooray, Gary! We're finally huge!
So that first one is pretty straightforward. First of all though, take a look at this. This is a shot of SpongeBob's bed from another episode, alright? And one thing you'll notice is that the bed has a back. Well, the bed frame has this back part. Well, in this episode, at the beginning of it, when SpongeBob sits upon his bed in Home Sweet Pineapple, the back of his bed just disappears, dude. Here's a side-by-side of it from another episode as well. And just yeah, I don't know why they just didn't draw the back of his bed. So weird. It's always there, and then randomly it isn't here in this one shot. Very strange. Here's mistake number 2.
Ow. Shell phone! I know. I'll call Squidward. He'll know what to do. Hello? Squidward!
I'm gonna make this one quick. It's kind of a weak mistake in my opinion. It's from the wiki, and as you guys know, my goal with this is to cover every single mistake in this one episode. So even though it's weak, we gotta cover it. But SpongeBob over here, here's a PNG of him. He has his eyelashes, right? We all have eyelashes. And what happens with SpongeBob is whenever he closes his eyes, his eyelashes always disappear. This is a common thing in 2D animation. Like in every other episode, it happens whenever he closes his eyes. But when SpongeBob decides to call Squidward for help, he blinks his eyes, but his eyelashes are still seen for about a split second, which again is technically a mistake, but it's kind of lame. Let's head over to mistake number 3. This one's much better.
What are you gonna do now?
I guess I'll have to move back with my mom and dad.
No.
So eventually, as you guys just saw, SpongeBob loses his house to those pesky nematodes, and eventually realizes and says, I guess I'll have to move back in with my mom and dad. Now, when this happens, when this exact line is spoken, if we look at Patrick, who's looking very dapper, by the way, like I like his suit, if we look at him, his mouth disappears for like a split second as it's said. Like, look at this dude missing his mouth. Like, how do you forget to draw a character's mouth? Crazy, dude. Like, I don't know how you forget to draw a character's mouth, but whatever. Let's head over to the next one. This one's good. Did you guys catch it? I would not be surprised if not, because this one's kinda weird. So this is SpongeBob right here, and you'll notice that underneath his mouth, he has this like red line. I don't know if it's supposed to be his lips, if it's supposed to be his chin, but it's always there, this red line right here. It never goes away. Well, actually it does in this episode in a form of a mistake, as when SpongeBob's shivering in the clips you guys just saw, look, the red line normally underneath his mouth is gone for about a split second. It does come back, but for that split second, it is gone, dude. It's gone. Like I said, this one's very, very easy to miss, but this next one, not so much.
Thanks, Squidward. Can you give me a glass of water?
Okay.
Yeah, this is a real swell place you got here. Yep, this is great.
This next one is another one from the wiki, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys are pushing it with this one. It is kind of a mistake, but before Squidward returns to bed after giving SpongeBob a glass of water, the pillow is like, it's more square than anything, alright? And as you can see, it's only fit for one person. But eventually, when Squidward goes to bed with SpongeBob, they're so cute together, the pillow is now suddenly rectangular and wide enough for two people. Here's a side-by-side, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, the pillows are not that different. Like I said, this one's from the wiki, so do not point the finger at me, alright? I just included this one because I want to include every single mistake, and you guys say this is a mistake, so. Anyways, though, I'm rambling. Here's the next mistake. Take a look at this one.
You hold too many memories, Squidward. This is goodbye.
Now, this is one that's actually like pretty bad. This is actually like a real mistake right here. So near the ending of the episode, SpongeBob wears his hat when he is going to plant the seed. As you can see right here, all right, he's wearing his hat. Remember this, as when he plants the seed a second later, his face is seen close up and look, he isn't wearing the hat. Now, of course, after planting the seed, the hat does like reappear finally, but yeah, totally a mistake. He's wearing it, then it just disappears for a second and then it reappears back. Crazy mistake. All I know for sure though is that's a really nice hat, SpongeBob. I want one. Here's the next one.
Squidward, this is goodbye.
Goodbye, SpongeBob. Goodbye. Goodbye, SpongeBob. Bye, bye, bye. Good.
This one is insanely funny, all right? But when Squidward says goodbye to SpongeBob, look at him because he's much taller than usual. Here are a couple of shots of Squidward from other episodes. And then if you look at this one, he is like towering over SpongeBob. Like, dude looks massive.
No one can ingest raw chum and survive.
Oh, yeah? Well, Charlie Mackerel did.
Really?
For 30 seconds.
Let's get things started with the episode Squirrel Record. This is from the modern SpongeBob era, so the episode's all fancy in HD, and it has two mistakes. Let's not waste any time. Here's the first one.
Oh, hold on, Sandy.
Well, hurry up! I've got record breaking to do!
So, as you guys just saw, SpongeBob leaves to go and get his camera, but when he does this, he leaves his helmet inside the tree dome, right here. So once he leaves, he does not have it anymore. But once he's shown running back with his camera, he's randomly seen with his helmet on again outside of the tree dome, which literally would have been impossible because he left his helmet there when he left. Maybe he has an extra one, but I think the animators messed up here and they were not supposed to draw him with the helmet on again. What do you guys think though? Let me know in the comments below. For now though, here's another mistake from this episode.
Let's have a look. SpongeBob! SpongeBob, what are you doing?
I'm here to save you.
Yeah, so speaking of that water helmet, all right, if we go back to Tea at the Tree Dome, we know that if SpongeBob does not have water, this happens. He starts to dry up and he pretty much nearly dies. Same thing happens to Patrick too. But for some reason, after SpongeBob is crushed by the machine in the clips you guys just saw, he is now randomly somehow able to survive inside Sandy's tree dome without wearing a water helmet, which is a major mistake because this would happen. I'm gonna play the clip. This is what would happen to him.
There's no water in here. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, SpongeBob would have dried up, my boy. If he needed water that bad back in Tea at the Tree Dome, he would need it that bad now as well in this episode. I guess whoever wrote this episode or whoever animated Squirrel Record must have forgotten about this very crucial detail. But anyways, we can't spend all day on this episode. Let's head over to another one, guys, that has much crazier mistakes. Stay tuned.
I would like a Krabby Patty.
Okay. How about you, Squid?
No, I do not want a Krabby Patty.
You sure?
Don't touch me.
This next one has very few mistakes, but the one it has is actually really bad, so I'm gonna make it quick. The episode is The Main Drain, a very underrated episode. Like, be honest, have you even heard of this episode before? I definitely hadn't before this video, but anyways, here's the first mistake. Let's expose it.
1 sec. Time for a scary story.
Where is the main drain, Mr. Krabs?
Did you guys catch it? It's a very weird one, but when Mr. Krabs turns off the lights, it's on the left side, as you can see right here, all right? Remember, it's on the left side. However, when Mr. Krabs eventually finishes the story moments later, the switch suddenly just changes positions. Like, what? The next scene shows that the switch is now randomly above SpongeBob hanging on the ceiling, when before, it was right here. What? The animators definitely forgot about where they originally put the light, but hey, stuff happens, all right? Mistakes happen sometimes. At least this one gives us a good laugh. I don't know if it's as funny as this next episode's mistakes, though. Let's keep it moving and stay tuned, guys. Things are only gonna get worse as we go. Next up, we've got some Season 3 goodness. One of my favorite Season 3 episodes, Just One Bite. In this episode, Squidward is exposed for loving Krabby Patties after he tries to lie and claim he doesn't like them. You're so fake, Squidward. Like, seriously, look at this compilation of this boy lying about not liking Krabby Patties. He lies so much in this episode, and then, of course, we're gonna get into the mistakes. They're really bad in this episode, so stay tuned.
Curse this Krabby Patty and all who enjoy them. No, wait, it's not what you think.
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
It's hilarious because by the end of the episode, the dude explodes from eating so many Krabby Patties. But anyways, here's the first mistake, guys. Let's expose it.
I gotta have more. I gotta have more.
Squidward?
SpongeBob,
This one's a really bad mistake, and it happens when Squidward says the line, "I gotta have more." He is jonesing for Krabby Patties, holy. When Squidward says this, look, his mouth disappears for like a split second, leaving for a really weird shot of Squidward. This also happens again when Squidward turns around and says SpongeBob. Yeah, same thing, his mouth disappears for like a split second, which is definitely a mistake, and I feel bad for Squidward because he's gonna need his mouth to eat all those Krabby Patties, so yeah. Here's another mistake from this episode. This one's just as bad.
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
yes, I admit it, SpongeBob.
I knew it all along, Squidward.
It happens around the same time as the last one before SpongeBob goes in the Patty Vault, but for about a split second during his lines, one of his pores or holes just turns blue. Like, what is going on here, SpongeBob? That is not supposed to be blue. What? I can tell you what the issue is here. It's an animation error. If you look behind SpongeBob, the Patty Vault is blue. So for whatever reason, the layer of his pores, they're like clipping through and showing the blue wall behind it, which, you know, is definitely a mistake. Mistakes happen, but this one's kind of rough. I don't know how they missed it. I don't know how they missed this one either. Here's one more from Just One Bite, and then we'll head over to another episode, guys. Lots of other episodes coming up.
It's disgusting.
I'm gonna make this one quick because it's a very typical SpongeBob error. Don't worry, there's lots of crazier ones coming up, but in the scenes where Incidental 40 is enjoying his king-sized Ultra Krabby Supreme I Want One, the chum bucket, which should be across from the street, is just missing. Here's a shot showing that normally it is across the street, there's a path between them. Here's another shot proving it, yeah, but in this episode, Just One Bite, the chum bucket just doesn't exist anymore, I guess. The animators just forgot that it's supposed to be across the street. Crazy. Let's keep it going though, guys.
Mustn't receive any more blows to the head. Care for him as if he were your very own.
Ready for some fun?
Let's do another quick one from the episode Squid Baby. Let's get right into it. Here's the first mistake.
My face!
my face! Also my leg, but mostly my face!
Hey, you gonna take...
This one's definitely going to need some explaining. This character right here is Incidental 106, and he's colored like this. Remember these colors, all right? This right here is Incidental 107, and he's colored like this. Now, they both appear in Squid Baby in numerous different scenes, and they're colored correctly. Like I said, remember how they're colored, as after baby Squidward scribbles all over Incidental 41's face, we get a shot of Incidental 106, but this time he's colored incorrectly. For some reason, they made a mess up, and they swapped Incidental 106 with Incidental 107's colors. So it's separate fish, but the colors are completely swapped. Like, what? Here's another mistake from Squid Baby. This one's interesting. We may have covered this one before, so I'm going to make it very, very quick. But when SpongeBob and Patrick yell, "Squiddy," and it goes to this like superhero blue background, not only is SpongeBob missing his arms, which might be more of a comedic effect, but a piece of his bottom is missing at the bottom of the screen. This is definitely a mistake. You can see the animation glitches and it's just cut off or something. Really, really weird. And guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. But if you want more SpongeBob mistakes like this, click this video right here. If you do, me and you will share a kelp shake together, all right? We'll turn green afterwards. You know the reference if you've seen the episode, but do it and we'll share one. Click this video. First up is Squiditis, an episode from season 8 that I'm kind of mixed on. It's somewhat of a meh episode in my opinion, but it also has some funny moments. But of course, what we're really here to talk about when it comes to this episode are the mistakes. Here's the first one.
Do you guys hear what's going on back there?
Yes, and I'm very puzzled.
So am I. In fact, I might even be a little concerned.
Sorry, I think I might be coming down with something.
Coming down with something?
I refuse to be served by a sick fry cook.
Me too. Let's get out of here.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that? Well, don't worry, if you missed it, I've got you covered. So when we first hear Incidental 41 and Incidental 107 speak, they sound like this. Here's Incidental 41's voice, a quick clip of it.
So am I. In fact, I might even be a little concerned.
And here's Incidental 107's voice, a quick clip of it.
Do you guys hear what's going on back there?
Well, here's the issue. As eventually in the episode, when SpongeBob says he might be coming down with something, Incidental 41 and Incidental 107 have now randomly swapped voices. Here, listen again.
I refuse to be served by a sick fry cook.
Me too. Let's get out of here.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's a weird mistake, dude. You could tell like the animators or editors got the two lines mixed up. It's a funny mistake, and hey, there's more. Here's another mistake from the same episode.
Just what is that supposed to be?
This? Oh, it's a number 2. Krabby Patty with cheese, medium drink, regular...
Not that. The thing on your face.
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, SpongeBob says that the order for table 3 is a Krabby Patty with cheese, as you just heard. But let's actually take a look at the Krabby Patty, as there ain't any cheese on that thing at all. There's no cheese. Like, I like cheese and it's missing. The only thing on that patty is lettuce, resulting in this weird mistake. I mean, SpongeBob literally says that it's a Krabby Patty with cheese, but I guess the animators forgot about this, as when they drew the Krabby Patty, it does not have any cheese. Now I'm kind of hungry. Okay, let's stay on track. Let's head over to another episode. You will not believe some of the mistakes coming up, guys. Stay tuned. Next up is Face Freeze, another episode from season 8 that in my opinion is actually kind of spooky. We're gonna get into the mistakes, but take a look at some of these scenes of SpongeBob and Patrick changing their faces around. Like I said, we'll get to the mistakes, but just some funny clips first. Dude, they were making some weird faces, and it's funny that their faces get frozen like that. But anyways, it's time for the mistakes. It's what you guys clicked on. Here's the first one.
Onion juice! Ah!
Come on, SpongeBob, chop chop!
Okay.
Did you guys catch it? Well, during this scene where Squidward ducks behind this wall after saying chop chop, our boy seems to be clipping through the wall. I'm zooming in right here, you guys can see it, but Squidward is just going through the wall. He should be behind it or in front of it, but his body's clipping through it, which is an animation glitch. And there's more from this episode. Here's another mistake.
It's awesome!
sound? It's the sound of me money being flushed down the toilet! SpongeBob! Why aren't you manning the fryer?
Sorry, sir, I got carried away.
Did you guys catch that? Take a look at this random shot of the inside of the Krusty Krab. Normally it looks like this, and what you really want to pay attention to is the Krusty Krab cash register in this window. As in face freeze during this scene where the camera pans to Mr. Krabs' office, both the Krusty Krab cash register and the window are just missing, they're gone. Like I said, as you can see in this shot of the Krusty Krab from another episode, the Krusty Krab cash register and the window are there. But in this one scene from face freeze, they're both gone. Okay, I've got one more mistake from this episode. Take a look at this. Here's a quick hint, it has to do with the character Fred.
Cold day in November. And in Bikini Bottom lived a man who loved to make faces. And the one he liked best was to stick his tongue out. But what he really liked was sticking his tongue out at people.
Only hardcore SpongeBob fans will even catch this. But normally Fred, in any other episode, here's a random shot of him, he looks like this, with his lips being the same color as his skin. But for some reason in this episode, they're like the same color as his limbs in dorsal fin, which is totally a mistake. Like I said, normally Fred looks like this, more specifically his lips look like this, but in this episode it's completely off and they look like this. Crazy, man. Let's keep it moving though and head over to another SpongeBob episode. Let's go back in time and talk about a classic episode from the early days of SpongeBob. I'm talking about Patty Hype. What a nostalgic episode, but guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna ruin your childhoods. This episode has a lot of mistakes. Here's the first one.
Your dumb pretty patties turned my face purple! Look what I got under me, kill! And look at our tongues!
What's wrong with you?
We want our money back.
So this one's gonna need some explaining, some context, okay? So at the ending of this episode, Patty Hype, the big reveal is that there's a side effect to eating pretty patties. They look pretty and they look delicious, but they turn your skin into a different color and just cause all sorts of mutations. And one of the pretty patties victims is this Scottish fellow right here, with pretty patties turning his legs plaid. Well, the animators messed up a little bit here, as yes, under his kilt, it's revealed that his legs were turned plaid by the patties. But if we watch in slow motion, before he even pulled his kilt up, take a look at his legs as they're his normal color. I don't think that the animators really considered this, right? The thought was that he would pull up his kilt and you'd see that the pretty patties changed his legs to this, but if you watch the whole scene, his legs are actually like normal. They're the normal color. They only turn plaid once he pulls up his kilt. Weird, dude. And here's another mistake from the same episode.
I'm ready for me money. Welcome to Pretty Patties. May I take your money?
We want a refund, Krabs.
Your dumb pretty patties turned my face purple!
This one is just really, really weird. I don't know what they were doing when they animated this scene in this episode. First things first though, here's like a random PNG of Incidental 37A, okay? This is how he looks. He's actually a fairly iconic Incidental. Like, look at those shorts. Those shorts are iconic. Well, a major mess up was made with this character in Patty Hype during this scene where Mr. Krabs runs away from his stand as everybody like surrounds him and gets mad. As if we look in the bottom right corner, we can see Incidental 37A in Mrs. Puff's clothing for some reason. For one, that is definitely not Mrs. Puff. Look at how skinny they are. I feel bad. I'm sorry, Mrs. Puff. But there are other scenes in this episode that kind of prove to us that this is 37A, Incidental 37A. So this was a massive mistake. Normally he looks like this, but in this episode he looks like this, which is again a massive mistake. Let's keep the video going though, guys. I've got plenty of crazy mistakes coming up in other episodes. Heading over to season 6, our next episode is Sand Castles in the Sand. This episode has some epic fight scenes. We're gonna get into the mistake in this episode, but before that, seriously, check out some of these amazing fight scenes between SpongeBob and Patrick.
Let's have some real fun.
What was that? Come on, we gotta get out of here.
Like I said, this episode gets pretty wild between the two. But you know what's also wild? The mistake in this episode. Take a look at this.
Get up, Patrick. It's time.
Time for what?
The big shindig, remember?
No. Besides, I don't really think my shins should be involved.
So for this one to really hit, you guys need some context. Right here, we're looking at Conch Street. So as you guys can see here on Conch Street, we have Patrick's house, SpongeBob's house, and Squidward's house. Well, it goes in the order of Patrick, Squidward, and SpongeBob's house. And let's take a look at SpongeBob's house, as we'll notice that there's this chimney on top. Remember this. As during this scene in Sandcastles in the Sand, when SpongeBob leaves his house, where's the chimney? It's a minor detail, but you can tell the animators forgot to draw his chimney in this one scene, which is totally a mistake, as that chimney's been there ever since the first episode. Look at this shot of SpongeBob's house from Help Wanted episode 1, and that chimney's right there. So this was a mistake, and let's keep it moving. Let's head over to another episode, guys, with some jaw-dropping mistakes. We've already talked about him a couple of times today, but who remembers this character right here, Fred? He's the dude who would always yell, "My leg."
My leg.
Yeah, that guy, he's iconic. Well, he got his very own episode in season 11, appropriately titled My Leg. And dude gets his leg broken a ton of times in this episode. It's revealed that he actually does it on purpose. Here are a ton of clips of him getting his leg broken in this episode. We're gonna get into the mistakes after though, but here are some of these clips.
My leg! He's really stressing out, Dr. Charlie Horse.
You right, Fred? It's so tense.
I personally love this episode. I feel bad for Fred, but like I said, he wants to get his leg freaking broken. He's crazy. Anyways, though, it's mistake time, baby. Here's the first one.
Fred, I've got an idea. Why don't we hurt your leg so you can be reunited with your lady fair?
This first one is bad, dude. But during this scene where SpongeBob turns into a heart, take a look at one of these red hearts right here as it clips through Fred. Literally, dude, it's like going through his body, which is totally an animation mistake. The layer of the heart is supposed to be either on top of him or behind him, but yeah, in this shot, it's clipping right through his body. Like I said, it's bad. And here's another mistake.
Your leg! Watch this!
He's really stressing out, Dr. Charlie Horse.
This one isn't as bad, but so going back over to Fred over here, throughout the series, Fred is never seen with shoes. He just never wears shoes. And even in this episode, he doesn't really wear shoes, but the animator slipped up, and in one scene only, is this healer scene right here. Look, he's randomly wearing shoes. He isn't wearing shoes after this, so just yeah. It might not sound like a mistake, but in terms of the character's design, it's a continuity mistake. Okay, you guys know the drill. Let's head over to another episode with some spicy mistakes. Up next is Fear of a Krabby Patty from season 4. Before we get into the mistakes, here are some spooky scenes from this episode. Then we'll get into the mistakes right after, so stay tuned.
654. 1,120. 8,650.
Wait, what's going on? Whoa!
Things get pretty creepy in this episode, dude, but things also get pretty rough in terms of animation. Well, not really. This episode is beautifully animated, but you know me.
Oh, you're right. I better get back to work. Thanks for everything, Doc.
No, it's a lie. Therapy doesn't really work. You're still sick. Very, very sick.
Did you guys catch it? Like I said, I have no idea how the animators missed this. But take a look at some of these shots right here. As you can see, the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket have always been across from one another. It's like a major thing in SpongeBob. Since like the first season, these two have been across the street. Well, sometimes the animators forget this, most notably in fear of a Krabby Patty. As when SpongeBob leaves the chum bucket in this episode, look, the Krusty Krab should be across the street, but that thing is missing. Ain't nobody getting a Krabby Patty because the Krusty Krab just doesn't exist anymore. Again, look at some of these clips. It's supposed to be right there across the street, but yeah, major mistake. Let's kick things off with a very gross episode, Fungus Among Us, which the title can already give you an idea of what's going on in this episode. Here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Stop! You're pushing out more of the egg!
Did you guys catch it? Well, the mistake revolves around this incidental right here, this background character known as Fancy Fish. Now, normally with incidentals, they have like a skin color and then they wear clothes, but the clothing is never like the same color as their skin, right? Well, if we take a look at Fancy Fish as they're jumping onto SpongeBob, his skin is actually the same color as the sleeves of his shirt, which is totally a mistake. As like I said, right? Like the clothing is never the same color as the skin of these characters, or else it would make it look like the clothing is their skin. So by SpongeBob's rules, this is totally a mistake. And guys, here's an even worse mistake from the same episode.
They show up every day of the week, clean and disease-free.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Krabs. SpongeBob SquarePants returning for duty, sir.
This one's a quick one, but when SpongeBob says, SpongeBob SquarePants returning for duty, sir, take a look at this dork's sleeves, as they're colored yellow instead of white. I don't think I need to explain this. Here's a random shot of SpongeBob. Normally his sleeves are white, but in this scene, they're yellow, which is totally a mistake. And there's more, another mistake in this episode. Look at this.
Who are you people? I want to go home.
You are home, SpongeBob. You just need to stay in this bubble until the ick clears up.
Where's my snail, Gary?
We've taken care of your pet.
Last one from this episode, but after SpongeBob gets literally kidnapped from the Krusty Krab and is put into isolation, he says, "Where's my snail Gary?" And if we look at his clothing, look at his side belt, it's missing. Normally SpongeBob's belt goes like all around him, but in this one shot, the side part of his belt is gone. The animators just did not draw it. Hey, mistakes happen, and guys, we've got plenty more coming up, mistakes you don't want to miss. I know, you guys primarily watch our videos for SpongeBob, but guys, The Loud House is really good. It's also made by Nickelodeon, and the show is really connected to SpongeBob. So don't click off yet, guys, please. I promise we're gonna get back to SpongeBob, but you don't want to miss these mistakes in Along Came a Sister. It's a good episode, but the mistakes are bad.
Hey, Frank! Frank! Over here, buddy! So cool! Now, before we pack up, I need a volunteer to look after Frank this weekend while I'm out of town.
For this one to make sense, you guys gotta know who these characters are. This guy right here is Frank, and this is how his eyes look, alright? Yellow with black pupils. But during multiple scenes, for example, this one right here, Frank's eyes are just completely black, like the animators were too lazy to give them the regular color and just gave him entirely black eyes. It's pretty rough, and here's another mistake from the same episode.
Now, before we pack up, I need a volunteer to look after Frank this weekend while I'm out of town.
Please, Mrs. John, me!
Lincoln!
Yes! Way to go, Lincoln!
You probably caught it yourselves, but this one's an audio error, as during Clyde's line, "Way to go, LinkedIn," if you look at Clyde, his lips don't actually move when he says this. The audio comes out, but his mouth just doesn't move. Okay, we're going back to SpongeBob, guys. I know it's what you want. Let's head back to Bikini Bottom, baby. Let's jump into season 7 of SpongeBob, starting with the episode I Heart Dancing. This episode definitely ain't good, but it also isn't bad. I'd say it's more of a mid-episode. What we're really here to talk about, though, is this mistake. Take a look at this.
Let's move on to our first dance lesson. I want you to moonwalk on this treadmill while I read this entire...
Did you guys catch it? It has to do with these portraits of Squidward hung up in his house. There are at least 3 of the same picture, okay? And the issue is that the background of those pictures change. First, they're purple, as you can see in this shot. But then there are multiple times where they change to green, making for an interesting mistake. I mean, the background of the pictures isn't gonna randomly change. That was 100% 100% a coloring error by the animators. I mean, just look again. In this shot, it's purple the background, but then in this shot, it's green. Let's keep it moving though. Here's another mistake from this episode. There are a lot in this episode.
Listen, you pea brain, we are gonna keep working on your routine until you get it right. And I don't care how long it takes. Now watch closely.
This is another really bad one, and it has to do with Squidward. So soon after SpongeBob's cane dance, look at our boy, he's dancing up a storm. If we look at Squidward, his nose turns entirely transparent for 1 frame, meaning the animators, for only 1 frame I guess, didn't color in his nose. Like, look at how bad that looks. I'm sorry, but nobody's nose is going to be see-through. There are a couple of other mistakes in this episode, but none of them compare to the mistakes in this next episode we're going to be talking about. So let's head over to that episode. Mr. Krabs has had a lot of weird schemes over the years. I mean, remember the Krusty Krab food truck? Yeah, weird, but the idea he goes for in the season 8 episode, Drive-Thru, is actually a good one. The episode name kind of gives it away, as the Krusty Krab gets a drive-thru. Like I said, kind of a good business concept, and it makes for a good plot. I'm gonna get to the mistakes, of course. There's a lot of bad ones in this episode, but here, real quick, take a look at these funny clips from the episode.
Hello? Is this stupid thing on?
Mr. Squidward! Any customers?
None that I can hear.
Ooh, here comes one now!
Hey, go around! Go around!
Large Krabby Patty with fries, please.
With fries, got it.
This is a really good episode, and it's one of the last few good episodes before SpongeBob got really bad back in season 8. Here's the first mistake though. I know that's what you guys really want.
Thanks again for taking us to the Krusty Krab, Dad.
Yeah, Mom never brings us here.
Anytime, kids. What the?
Careful now.
Hey, you guys put in a drive-thru.
We did?
Great.
Did you guys catch it? As it has to do with the design of the Krusty Krab. During the beginning, when this fish is driving around the Krusty Krab, something is missing. Here, I'll give you guys a chance to figure it out again. Look at this shot of the Krusty Krab, look at it. And now look at this shot from Drive-Thru. You guys probably got it now, but the antenna, which is normally here, is missing in Drive-Thru. Here's another mistake.
I'll have 3 large Krabby Patties, Krabby Fries, a Krabby Cola, and 2 extra large orders of Krabby Rings. Is this toothpaste?
Boy, I don't know how I think of this stuff, but I think I got a winner. We are putting in a drive-thru.
This next mistake is one of the ones that really makes me shake my head. As after Incidental 42 notices that there's toothpaste on the hole, let's look at SpongeBob as his body is completely glitched out, with his body overlapping his arm. It's the arm on his left and on our right, but you can see that that arm, the layer for it in terms of art, is like underneath his body. Like, I'm zooming in, guys, look at how weird that is. Yeah, that one is just brutal, but let's keep the video going, guys. Lots of insane mistakes coming up. Here's another quick mistake from a show that isn't SpongeBob. We're gonna be talking about The Amazing World of Gumball. This show is so much fun. The episode is The Boss, and let's see if you guys can spot this mistake. It has to do with a background detail. There's your hint.
Well, Mr. Robertson, your resume is 3 sentences long and every letter is in a different color. Perhaps you might like to add something.
I've got excellent communication skills.
Clearly.
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, if not, I got you covered. Let me help you out. So in this scene, when Mr. Shinex is interviewing Rocky, there's a plaque in the background that's supposed to say operating. Now, operating is spelled O-P-E-R-A-T-I-N-G. But if we look on this actual plaque, it's misspelled. Again, this is how operating is supposed to be spelled, and then they just completely butcher it right here, making for a really funny mistake. And let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Let's go, gang. The next mistake we'll be talking about is good old Whatshisname, and we're gonna dive right into it, but first, here are some hilarious clips from this episode. You don't want to miss these mistakes though, they're really bad, so hang tight.
Meaning, if you call the customers by their name, they keep coming back to spend more of them greenbacks. So I want you two to learn the names of every customer.
I have an important life to live, and it doesn't include chattering with you two ninnies.
I thought you might say that, so I decided to turn this into a contest.
Come on guys, you had to catch that one. If you didn't though, let me explain. So in the one scene where Mr. Krabs talks to both SpongeBob and Squidward at the same time, if we watch during this frame, one of his hands is just missing. Like, where is that dude's hand? He needs those hands to count all of his money that he's obsessed with, so yeah. Major mistake here, and here's another one.
Holy sea cow! That hooligan ran a stop sign! Stop, thief! You know that guy? Hardly. He stole my wallet. What? That makes him a dual offender. Let's get him.
Yeah, this one's gonna crack you guys up a little bit. So as you guys just seen, the Bikini Bottom police are against littering, alright? It's like a crime. Like, they go to chase down Squidward, but look, if you actually watch, the cop technically litters himself by dropping his donut on the sidewalk before chasing Squidward. So this dude right here, hypocrite. Major hypocrite. What's he talking about? You literally just littered and threw your donut on the ground. A perfectly good donut, by the way. Yeah, like I said, this one was funny. This one actually made me laugh a little bit. I love when SpongeBob dives into like the backstory of Mr. Krabs, and that's exactly what happens in season 4's Shell of a Man. We're gonna get into the mistakes, but take a look for yourself. The plot's pretty interesting.
Are you sleepy? Mr. Krabs! I don't smell his pulse.
Don't look at me!
Mr. Krabs? Leave me be! You're alive! And naked.
It's true. I've molted.
What?
Go give the episode a watch after you're done watching this video, of course. Like, don't click off of this video, but after you're done watching this video, go watch the episode. For now, though, here's the mistakes.
Perfection.
Is number 5's order ready yet, SpongeBob?
Just a second, Squidward. Well, Krabby Patty, it's time for you to go now. You grew up so fast. I promised myself I wouldn't do this. Just take it, Squidward, take it away!
So at the beginning of the episode, we get order number 5, which of course is a good old-fashioned Krabby Patty. I personally want one right now. At first, it looks like this. Remember this, alright? It looks like this. But literally, in the next shot, look at it now, as it looks like very different. It looks like almost an entirely different Krabby Patty. A very weird continuity mistake. I mean, first it looks like this, now it looks like this. So now that I think about it, I actually don't want a Krabby Patty anymore, especially if it's just gonna change. I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on SpongeBob Season 4? I personally actually like it, but there are some weird episodes in the season, one of them being Fear of a Krabby Patty. Let's dive into the first mistake in this one. It's interesting.
What the flim-flam?
Now, I'm totally overthinking this one, and to be honest, it's not even that noticeable of a mistake, which makes it even more fun to point out. Normally, Krusty Krab hats look like this, alright? And more importantly, they have an anchor on them. But if we watch this scene where SpongeBob is dropping the trays out of the chef's window, and we see this shot of Squidward, who is tweaking, by the way, that Krusty Krab hat is missing its anchor. We're zooming in here, and as you can see, the animators just did not draw the anchor, which is okay. This is a zoomed out shot, and like I said, no one would really even notice this. I sure noticed it, and I'm gonna notice more in this next episode. Let's keep the video moving and head over to another one, baby. Next up, we have the episode The Splinter, which is a very well-known episode of SpongeBob, but not because people like it. People actually hate this episode because there's a really gruesome scene where SpongeBob gets his splinter. Now, we're gonna get into the mistakes in this episode, but I'm actually gonna show you guys that scene really quickly, so just, yeah, take a look at this. Yeah, dude, that was gnarly, especially for a kid's cartoon, and you can see this is when SpongeBob started focusing less on like actual comedy and started using like grotesque humor and like grotesque scenes of Squidward or SpongeBob getting beat up to keep things entertaining. But anyways, we're not here for all that. We're here for mistakes. Here's the first one.
Well, maybe. I don't have have to tell Mr. Krabs.
So first things first, during this scene where SpongeBob goes to touch his heart, look at his pants, alright? I don't even need to show you guys this, but here's a random shot of SpongeBob, and as you can see on his pants, he has his belt, alright? But in this one shot from the Splinter, when it zooms in, the belt is just gone, and I don't even get this one. Like, sometimes, guys, if it's a super zoomed out shot, for example, the one where Squidward was missing his Krusty Krab hat, that's totally fine, it's a zoomed out shot. This is a zoomed in shot, so how they just didn't draw his belt is hilarious to me. So yeah, totally a mistake here, and here's one more from this episode.
So I use my nose. Makes sense now, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So at the very beginning of the episode, we can see that 2 Krabby Patties are ordered, SpongeBob makes them, and he puts them right here, alright? Remember this. Because no one actually picks them up, but moments later, like seconds later in this scene, they're now gone. And like Squidward did not take those patties, so they just disappeared. Like, it was kind of weird, to be honest with you. Now, let's get into the real spicy mistakes in today's video and head over to another episode. Stay tuned, guys, because I've got some wild mistakes coming up. Coming in hot is a season 13 episode. We've got some modern SpongeBob for you guys, all right? Now, the episode is Captain Pipsqueak, and this episode is awesome because we've seen the return of a ton of iconic villains from SpongeBob history. For example, the Tattletale Strangler, and even Dennis. But we're not here for all that. We're here for the mistakes. Here's the first one.
Wrong dumpster.
So this first one is funny. Now, during this scene where we can see Plankton inside one of the dumpsters, we can see that he doesn't have gloves on based on his hands. Remember this as it's important, because give it a few seconds, and then when we get to this shot, look, his gloves are just randomly back on him again. So this was totally a mistake. You can see that at first, they drew him without gloves, and then they decided afterwards, oh, we're gonna put the gloves on. I highly doubt dude just put them on in the garbage, though that would be very hygienic, Plankton. Anyways though, here's another mistake from this one.
Smart thinking. You can go as Towel Man.
Don't be a Weisenheimer.
So this one is totally a nitpick on my end, but this right here is Karen, Plankton's computer wife. Dude, imagine marrying a computer. But anyways, it's his wife, all right? And as you can see in her design, she has blue hands. Here's another shot of Karen from another episode, and as you can see, she has blue hands. Well, take a look at her hands in this episode, Captain Pipsqueak, as they're randomly colored gray throughout this whole episode, which is very strange, as in even episodes after this one, for example, the flower pot, look, her hands are blue again. So this was just totally a weird mistake here, where I guess they just didn't color her hands for this one episode. I don't really care, but I thought I would point it out because it's funny, and here's one more from Captain Pipsqueak. This one's very quick, but when Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob walk away after putting Plankton in the garbage bin, let's take a look at SpongeBob because his teeth are yellow. Go brush your teeth, bro. I'm always gonna make this joke whenever we get a yellow teeth error. It's actually a fairly common mistake in SpongeBob, but my boy, go brush those teeth, please. Anyways though, let's head over to another SpongeBob episode, guys, and stay tuned because I've got some crazy mistakes coming up. In the episode Friendiversary, take a look at this. Something's missing. Yeah, you guys probably caught this one. It's pretty easy. Where is the back door to the Krusty Krab? Like, it's a cartoon, you know, it's fine, I get it, but the back door should be there. It's been there ever since like the first season. And also, by the way, take a look at this shot right here. As you can see, the Chum Bucket and Krusty Krab are canonically across the street from one another. Well, where is the Chum Bucket in this shot of Friendiversary? It's just not there. So yeah, a couple mistakes in this one right here. And let's keep it moving, guys. These ones were minor. It's time we get into the really bad mistakes today. Let's head over to another episode. Who remembers Picture Day back at school? Well, there's an episode completely based on this in SpongeBob called, well, Picture Day. It's from season 5. Now, this episode has 2 really bad mistakes that we're gonna dive into, but it also has a bunch of funny moments, so roll some funny clips from this episode, and then we'll get right into the spicy mistakes.
Please, you gotta spare me. I've got Picture Day today.
Oh, pictures, huh?
You guys know what time it is. Let's expose the mistakes in this episode. Roll the footage. Here's the first one.
Well, I'm not sure how I did it, but I... Oh!
Fiddlesticks.
Did you guys catch it? Well, look at SpongeBob's pants during this scene as a part of it turns yellow. I'm zooming in so you guys can really see. Yeah, that part right there beside his arm is yellow, and that's like incorrect. That's a major mistake by the animators. And here's another mistake from this episode, but this one's a lot more technical, so pay close attention.
That moody brooding. This will clean you up.
You guys might have caught it from the clips we just played, but I'm sure I'll need to explain this one. So we can see that Tom Kenny, this guy right here, here's a picture of him, he's credited as the photographer at the boating school. And we can see that Bill Thoggerback, I totally butchered his name, but this guy right here, is credited as the trucker who is blinded by sunlight. But here's the problem, listen to the clips again.
That moody brooding. This will clean you up.
Yeah, the animators or whoever edited this episode got it completely flipped. It's actually Tom Kenny who voices the trucker, and it's actually Bill who voices the boating school photographer. So a bit of a technical mistake here, like their credits got swapped clearly, and as you can tell, it's their voices on those characters. So yeah, interesting mistake here. And we've got even cooler ones coming up, so stay tuned and let's head over to another episode, baby, let's go. Home Sweet Pineapple. In this episode, SpongeBob loses his iconic pineapple home, but what really matters here are the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
Hooray, Gary! We're finally huge!
Did you guys catch it? Well, as you guys just seen, there's a moment at the beginning of this episode where we see SpongeBob sit upon his bed. And as this happens, look, the back of the bed just disappears. I have no idea how I even noticed this one, but yeah, the back of your bed doesn't just disappear randomly, especially when there's shots in this episode of his bed with the back of it being there, so yeah. But let's head over to the next mistake in this episode.
Yeah, me too. Yep, this is great.
This one is just funny. So, before Squidward returns to bed in the scene you guys just saw, after he gives SpongeBob a nice glass of water, this pillow right here is square, alright? Remember this, I'm zooming in, it is a square pillow, only fit for one person. But as the scene progresses and Squidward eventually goes to bed with SpongeBob, the pillow has just randomly changed, and it's now suddenly rectangular and wide enough for two people. Here's like a side-by-side, as you can see, originally it was like a single person square pillow, and then now it just changes to like a rectangle. I don't know, maybe they got an additional pillow, but this all happens in a matter of seconds. So yeah, a bit of a continuity error here, and there's one more from this episode, guys, and then we're gonna head over to another episode. Take a look at this. Now this one is a little more subtle, alright? But take a look at this shot of SpongeBob right here. A big part of his design is this red line that's under his mouth all the time. Even back in the first episode of SpongeBob, he always has this red line underneath his mouth. Well, when SpongeBob is shivering in the clips you guys just saw, he's not only missing about 3 of his teeth, as you can see here, but as I mentioned, that red line that's supposed to be under his mouth is missing for about a split second. Like I said, this only happens for like a split second. It's not that big of a deal, but it's still a mistake and that red line should be there. But guys, let's keep the fun going and head over to another episode of SpongeBob with even wackier mistakes. Let's do it. Next up, we have a season 7 episode, Greasy Buffoons. Now, this episode's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I don't hate it, but it's also not my favorite episode. Of course, though, it has mistakes. That's why I'm mentioning it, because this video is about SpongeBob mistakes. It has 2. Roll the first one. Let's see if you guys can catch it. Yeah, so as you guys know, SpongeBob is not the best driver. I mean, Mrs. Puff has to deal with this dude crashing the boat all the time and failing his driving exams. But for some reason in Greasy Buffoons, randomly out of nowhere, SpongeBob is shown to drive a truck perfectly, while in other episodes, as I've mentioned, he does not know how to drive a boat at all. Furthermore, SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs are shown driving along to what seems to be a highway to drop off the grease to the chum bucket, and this itself is also a mistake, as canonically, the chum bucket is right across the street from the Krusty Krab, as you can see in some of these shots. Here's one shot right here. As you can see, they're directly across from one another. So yeah, 2 mistakes in one scene right here. SpongeBob should not be able to drive a truck, and the Krusty Krab and chum bucket should be directly across from each other. They shouldn't need to drive on a highway to get there. But anyways, there's another mistake in this episode that's even spicier. Roll the clip.
No extra pay.
This one is really funny, and you need to pay close attention to really catch it. But when Squidward vanishes in the clips you guys just seen, he like fades away, all right? It's after he's been told to clean out the grease trap. He fades away, but he can still be faintly seen standing in the same spot he was before once he actually fades away, as you can see here. It's very faint. You can see it right here. He was supposed to completely disappear, but the animators messed up a little bit and left like a little bit of him there. And like I said, it's a really funny mistake. Not as funny as the mistakes coming up though, guys. Things are going to get wild. Texas, this episode is all about Sandy wanting to go back to Texas and getting a little homesick. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna show the 3 mistakes in this episode. They're really bad, but here are some funny clips from this episode just to jog your memory on it. It's very nostalgic, and then we'll get to the mistake.
I miss my 20 acres, barbecues and pecan pies. Oh, why?
Such an iconic episode, but even iconic episodes like this have mistakes. Here's the first one.
Surf's up, Sandy.
No thanks.
This one's subtle. The other 2 mistakes in this episode are a lot worse, so stay tuned. But whenever Patrick and SpongeBob try to catch jellyfish, our girl Sandy Cheeks over here, her outline just randomly turns green. Like, look, I'm showing it in slow motion, and it's just randomly green. Normally, it's like black, as you can see in this shot, but in this one shot, the outline just randomly turns green, which is very weird. But what's also weird is this other mistake from Texas. Roll the clip.
I'm warning you, SpongeBob.
Look, Patrick, I'm Texas.
Yeah, so remember that bottom lip outline, that red line that's under SpongeBob's mouth that I mentioned earlier on in the video, right? This thing right here. Well, right before SpongeBob and Patrick start walking around in a circle in this episode, Texas, dude, look, SpongeBob has 2 of those lip outlines. It's kind of funny. Back in the other episode we talked about, he was missing it, but in this one, he has 2, which was totally like an animation glitch. This has never happened since or before this, and is totally a mistake, and so is this next one. This is also a really bad mistake. Take a look at these clips right here.
It's your own little slice of Texas. Homemade peas in a can pies. And we got our very own 10-gallon hat. So what do you think? You gonna stay?
This one's very, very weird, but during this scene, Mrs. Puff is there, all right? She's there and she's a part of the scene, but she just randomly disappears and cuts out when SpongeBob puts on his 10-gallon hat and is then not seen again for like the remainder of the episode. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but if you watch the scene, you'll see what I mean. It's very, very strange. But let's head over to another episode, guys. A couple more mistakes left to explore, and things are going to get spicy. Next up, we've got the inside job. Now, this episode's very underrated, and I don't feel like a lot of people have seen it. So before we get into the 2 awful mistakes in this episode, here are a couple clips recapping what happens in the episode. I'll make it quick, and then we'll get right into those mistakes, baby. Show that footage.
Where am I?
Okay, it's time for mistakes. Here's the first mistake in the inside job. Take a look at this.
Hey, the lights are back on.
Okay, did you guys catch that? Well, when SpongeBob screams as he notices the sponge patty he unknowingly made, our boy needs to brush his teeth as his teeth are yellow for like a split second. It happens really fast. And you know, this is actually a very common mistake throughout SpongeBob. But yeah, his teeth are yellow, and I don't think I need to tell you guys that that's a mistake. That shouldn't happen. And neither should this. Roll the clip.
Hey, everybody! Wait, that's not what I wanted to say.
Okay. So at the end, when Karen flies him out, the cap, this cap right here that's on Plankton, extends to cover Plankton entirely, all right? It covers him entirely, as you can see right here. However, though, once he's outside of SpongeBob, all right, it's no longer covering him anymore, making for a very awkward mistake. We have an episode that I don't think I've ever covered before at all. I could be wrong. The episode's 20,000 Patties Under the Sea. And dude, it's actually a really good episode. I feel bad for missing this one. I did find a couple of mistakes though. Sorry guys, we gotta ruin that childhood today. Here's the first one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Is he still after us, Patrick?
I don't know, buddy.
I know you guys got that one. If you didn't though, Cartoon Corey's got you covered. So it's pretty bad, but as SpongeBob and Patrick are running away from the jellyfish, look at SpongeBob's left shirt sleeve as boom. The animators just completely forgot to color it in. It only happens for like a split second, but look at that, I'm zooming in. It's just not colored in and it looks ridiculous. I don't even think I need to show you guys this, but here's a PNG of SpongeBob. As you can see, his sleeve does not look like this normally. So big mistake here, and here's another one from the same episode. I think you guys can catch this one. Take a look.
Please, contact Eminent Patrick. Respond now, please. I can't speak up, Patrick. There's a jellyfish over here and I'm worried it might sting me.
This one's very, very funny. It cracked me up a little bit, but take a look at SpongeBob's glasses at first, all right? They look like this, more specifically the frames or lens, not the frames, the lens, look like this. At first, they're not like fully circles. They're like a bit of a circle with the top being cut off with a line, as you can see here. But then later on, they just become these, where like the lens are just entire circles, which is most likely to represent his eyes being full. But here's a side by side. Those look like completely different pairs of glasses because of this. So totally a mistake here. I see what they were going for. This wasn't meant to be a mistake, but yeah, it's totally a mistake. Sorry, Nickelodeon, get wrecked. And here's another one from the same episode. 3 mistakes in one episode, what?
Not that, Patrick, this.
What is it?
I don't know.
Okay, last one from this episode, and then we're gonna get into another episode with even spicier mistakes, but this submarine right here, we can see that it's stuck in the ground, and at one point, there's like this short distance between the grass in Jellyfish Fields, remember this, to the submarine that's stuck in the ground. Remember this grass, as later on when we get this shot, where is that grass? It should be over here by the submarine stuck in the ground, but it's like at first they drew the grass close by, but then forgot about this, and then when they got to this scene, they drew it without any grass, which is just kind of weird. Not as weird as the mistakes in this next episode, guys. Let's keep it moving. You're not gonna believe what's coming up. Coming in hot is an episode that I really like. It's Crusty Towers. In this episode, Mr. Krabs converts the Krusty Krab, a fast food restaurant, into like a hotel, and he goes all out. Look at this thing. It's a pretty nice hotel. We should go stay there, you know? Take a nice little trip over to Bikini Bottom, a nice little flight. Now there's 2 mistakes in this episode. I'll admit the first one isn't the craziest. It's still a bad mistake, but the second one, that's where things are questionable. But yeah, here's the first mistake from Krusty Towers. Take a look at this.
And thus, the Krusty Towers was born.
Why would anyone stay at a hotel in Bikini Bottom?
Like I said, this one isn't too crazy, and it's a classic mistake. This happens all the time, but canonically, all right, the Chum Bucket and Krusty Krab are directly across from one another. This has been shown in so many episodes. I have footage on screen right here as an example, and to show you guys I'm not capping, here's another example, more footage showing that they're directly across from one another. Well, the writers for Krusty Towers or the animators must have forgotten about this, as whenever the outside of the Krusty Towers is shown, which by the way is the Krusty Krab, the crossroad that should be connecting the Krusty Krab to the Chum Bucket is just missing. Where is it? The path should be right here, but it's not there. Maybe Mr. Krabs got it removed when he converted the restaurant into the hotel, but I doubt it. I think this was just a little oopsies, a little mistake, all right? And here's another one from Krusty Towers. This one's interesting.
You run the front desk.
Here's your room key.
I'll need some help with my bags.
How can you have... I've got cash.
Go! Here's your room key.
SpongeBob, carry my things to my room.
Let's dive into this second mistake. Maybe you guys caught it, maybe you didn't, but let me explain. So, despite Squidward and Patrick both getting a room key for Mr. Krabs, they get a key, this bulletin board right here that has all of the keys on it stays the same, which might not sound like a mistake, but for example, here's the bulletin board before they get their keys with all the keys on it, meaning that when Squidward and Patrick got a key, there should be 2 keys like taken away from this bulletin board, which they didn't do, which I'm not even gonna call lazy. I mean, I'm just being like a nerd by nitpicking this, but I mean, come on, if Squidward and Patrick took keys from this bulletin board, the bulletin board would have 2 less keys. It just makes sense, but it's a cartoon and it's not that big of a deal. But let's head over to another episode that actually has some blatant errors. Like these mistakes coming up are massive. Up next, we have Pest in the West. This is a really special episode. I mean, it's literally a SpongeBob special, meaning it's longer than normal, but it's all about us going back in time to the Western days of Bikini Bottom, before SpongeBob, Patrick, or anyone was born, and it focuses on SpongeBob, this guy right here who looks exactly like SpongeBob, but he's a cowboy. Everybody's a cowboy in this episode. It's pretty fun. What isn't so fun though are the mistakes in this episode. They're actually really bad in this one. Here's the first one.
Nope.
So throughout a majority of this episode, like 70% of the episode, SpongeBob here, who isn't SpongeBob and is from the past, is always seen wearing these black cowboy boots, all right? Black cowboy boots because shoes, like running shoes, were not invented yet. Most likely, at least. I mean, I highly doubt that back in like the 1800s, people were walking around in Jordans and Yeezys, you know what I mean? So yeah, the black boots make sense for this episode. But then, randomly at that 70% point, I guess the animators forgot about the boots because from there on out, SpongeBob is just randomly wearing his like modern day socks and shoes. And it stays like that for the remainder of the episode. I get it, this is part of SpongeBob's design, but this is SpongeBob. And again, we're like years in the past, so running shoes wouldn't really be a thing yet. So this is actually like a really bad mistake if you think about it. It's like the animators completely forgot about the boots. But anyways, I'm rambling, I'm talking all this smack. Here's another mistake from this episode.
It was a town that lived under the tyranny of a nasty no good galoot, Deadeye. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Thank you, Sheriff SpongeBob, for saving our town.
This one's a little more complicated, but the buildings in Deadeye Gulch, which is like the town this episode takes place in, are constantly changing throughout the episode. The Krusty Cantina and the bank are mostly the same throughout the whole episode, but some buildings change color and name. The Deadeye General Store, which you can see right here. As the episode progresses, it just randomly turns into Deadeye Boots, a completely different store in this shot right here. Like, what's going on? It's in the exact same spot that it was before too, so this was totally a mistake. All right, so we just covered various episodes with a couple of mistakes in each episode, like 2 or 3, all right? But now we're gonna talk about an episode with like 10 mistakes in the one episode. The episode is The Paper. How it's gonna work is I'm gonna play the clip with the mistake, and then I'm gonna come back and explain what the mistake is, all right? Here is the first one from The Paper.
I'm partial to doing it in the key of A minor myself.
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys didn't really catch that first mistake from this episode. It's kind of technical and you need to be like a musician to get it, which by the way, Cartoon Corey's a musician. Here's a quick clip of my band, by the way. Yeah, Cartoon Corey's a goofy goober rocking out, all right? But anyways, the mistake here is that the sheet music shown on screen as SpongeBob makes music with the paper is completely incorrect, and it does not match the respective song at all. They literally just threw up like random sheet music that does not apply to this song at all. Like if we were to play the sheet music on screen, it would not sound like the song that SpongeBob is performing. So yeah, weird mistake here, and here's another one for The Paper. Things are gonna get spicy as we go.
Give me my paper back. Now let go of it. I said let go of it. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go.
So this one, we definitely need a side-by-side so you guys can see the issue. You might have caught it, but when Squidward is trying to take the paper from SpongeBob and ruin his fun, Squidward's skin color is much paler than normal. I'm a nerd for noticing this, but here's a side-by-side. We have a shot of how Squidward normally looks, look at his skin, and then look at him in this one shot, and you'll notice there's a difference between the coloring. It's really weird. Squidward's only like this in the paper for this one shot, and then he's back to his regular coloring. But yeah, really, really strange, guys. Here's another one that's even more strange, though.
So you don't want it?
Right.
Does that mean I can have it? Squidward? Squidward? Okay, Squidward, that's a promise I'll just have to keep.
You know, I said it was strange, but this one's just really, really funny. So when Squidward first shuts his door, all right, it has a handle, as you can see here. You can see it right here. It's like a handle you would grab with your hand and pull to open, all right? It isn't a door knob, which you'd spin. Remember this. As later on in the episode, when we get the same shot of his door, look, that handle, it was a handle before, is now randomly a door knob, which is just a very strange continuity error. Maybe Squidward renovated his door in the matter of seconds between these scenes, but yeah, I think this was a continuity error. First they drew it like this, and then they drew it like this. Pretty funny. And here's the next one.
Oh, Squidward, is this still part of the...
Yeah, so at one point, Squidward gets so desperate for that paper that SpongeBob's been having fun with, that piece of junk that he hated at the beginning. He wants it so bad that he literally trades his house for SpongeBob's paper. Insane. What's really insane, though, is during the scene, look, SpongeBob's teeth turn yellow for like a split second. Like, what? I say it all the time, guys, but SpongeBob, go brush your teeth, boy. So funny. Let's keep it moving, though. Here's the next one.
Give me my paper back. Now let go of it. I said let go of it. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go.
This one's a strange one that you really need to pay close attention for, and I also really need to explain it. But when Squidward tries to get the paper from SpongeBob, all right, we've already seen this happen, but when he tries to get it from SpongeBob, a weird light amount of green is shown, all right, and his outline is just randomly gone. Here's shots of Squidward from previous points in this episode, and as you can see, he has this black outline. It's a very common thing in 2D animation. But in this one scene, not only is there that random amount of green, but he's also just missing his outline, which I think this is a green screen error mistake because his outline's gone, and then we see that green, which would be from a green screen. I don't know for sure. This is just a theory, a game theory. But yeah, here's the next mistake from this episode. I have no idea how I caught this one. I'm very proud of myself. You guys might have caught it yourselves, but when Squidward is painting and gets distracted by SpongeBob's paper, his picture, the thing he was painting, has the mouth closed. Remember this? I'm zooming in. Remember, the mouth on this painting is closed, zip shut. But when he eventually breaks it and snaps it in half, one of the halves show the mouth is open with a smile. Here's a side-by-side. This is a total mistake here. First it was closed, like the mouth was closed, and now it has like a smile. I don't think Squidward refined his painting in the midst of snapping it in half, so very, very weird. And you know what's also weird? His next mistake, guys.
Time to relax.
This one I'm gonna make quick. It's a very common mistake. At the beginning of the episode, Patrick and SpongeBob's houses are missing. Here's a shot of Conch Street where SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward reside. And as you guys know, it should go Patrick's house, Squidward's house, and then SpongeBob's house. But for some reason, even though the angle you should be able to see Patrick and SpongeBob's houses, they're just missing. They're gone. Poof. They didn't draw them. I don't know why. Be mad at Nickelodeon, but we've got one more left from this episode, guys, and it's a doozy. So for this one to make sense, let's take a look at SpongeBob's house. We just seen it in that image of Conch Street, but here's one focused on his home from an actual episode of SpongeBob. And you'll notice it has a chimney right here. Remember this. As a matter of fact, let's go back in time to like 1999 to the first episode of SpongeBob. And look, there's a chimney on his house as well. It's been like this forever. Well, when SpongeBob tries on Squidward's shirt in this episode, the animators just forgot about this because his house is missing its chimney. Here's a side-by-side. There should be a chimney, but it's not there. Crazy, man. There's so many mistakes in SpongeBob, but that's gonna do it for today, guys. And if you want more SpongeBob mistakes, click this video right here. It has some of the spiciest mistakes I've ever covered, guys. Like 50 mistakes in one video, so click it. And I'll see you guys over there. We'll hang out, we'll eat some Krabby Patties together, and we'll expose some mistakes. Click it. Click that video. I'll see you over there. Peace. First up is the very new episode, Fun Believable, from SpongeBob Season 13. This episode just premiered and has 3 mistakes. Here's the first one.
Hey, Rube, should we come back later?
Yeah, later would be good.
Honestly, I had to double take for this one, as when Rube says, yeah, later would be good, take a look at Sandy's stomach. It's missing. It's not supposed to look like that. Normally, as most of you probably know, Sandy looks like this, but in this one shot, yeah, I don't know what's going on with her stomach, but yeah, these SpongeBob animators messed up a little bit. Let's keep it going though and head over to mistake number 2 from this same episode.
Excuse us, Rube, but Patrick and I have something to show you. It's Fun Believable.
Show us what you got.
Now this one is just bad, as when SpongeBob says it's fun believable, his mouth disappears for a split second. Mistakes happen sometimes, but dude lost his entire mouth. SpongeBob needs that to eat Krabby Patties, so I mean, come on guys. Here's another mistake though. This one is just funny, so stay tuned.
We're ready for you.
Are you sure?
So take a close look at this scene while SpongeBob and Patrick rise out of these coffins, as SpongeBob's tie is colored brown like his pants. Normally SpongeBob's tie looks like this. I don't even think I need to show you guys, it's red, but for some reason here it's brown. It's most likely what happened here is the animators got mixed up with the color of SpongeBob's pants, which are brown, and made the tie the same color, but whatever. Mistakes happen, and I've got lots of more, even crazier mistakes than these ones, so let's head over to our next episode for today, guys.
I lost my pen.
You can borrow mine.
I lost something once. I lost something I couldn't live without. My identity.
Missing Identity is another season 3 banger. Such a good episode full of amazing moments, but it also has a mistake or two. And I hate to break it to you guys, here's some clips showing the mistakes.
Wait. Patrick!
Okay, so here's some context first. So as most of you probably already know, a big part of this episode is SpongeBob retracing his steps so he can find out where he lost his name tag, okay? So he goes through his day again and repeats steps that he did originally. But while SpongeBob is retracing his steps, he keeps missing a step between eating snail po and saying hi to Patrick. What is that step, you might be asking? That's putting his clothes on. As you can see in this shot, that was a big step, but when he's retracing them, he just skips it for some reason. Some of you guys might not really get this mistake here, but trust me, if you've watched the episode, it makes sense. Let's move over to another mistake that's a lot more digestible.
Guys, okay? Am I near the bathroom? Gary?
That last one was a bit weird. Like I said, you need to see the episode to get it, but this one is way more blatant. So when SpongeBob is tumbling downstairs, ouch, that must have hurt, the stairwell that's normally in SpongeBob's house wraps around the right side of the pineapple instead of the left. Normally it looks like this. Like any episode, if you pull up the inside of his house, you can see that the stairwell wraps to the left. But in this one episode, the animators must have forgot it or flipped the assets because it wraps around the right this time, which is wrong. It's wrong. Anyways, though, let's move over to some worse mistakes, guys. Trust me, stay tuned. This next one is bad.
By the all-seeing eye, we are worthy, we are not.
What are you two idiots doing?
Next up is the episode Good Neighbors, which is a pretty underrated episode in my opinion, but let's get into the juicy details. I know you guys want the mistakes. Here's mistake number 1.
Go out and paint all the leaves on the trees. Now, out. That'll keep them busy for a...
See you later, Squidward!
So this is another funny one, as when Squidward pushes SpongeBob and Patrick outside to go paint the leaves on the trees, as you can see, the door opens into the house, right? So if you were to open the door goes inside the house. I'm showing you it in slow motion, pay attention. But here's the issue, when SpongeBob and Patrick reappear and say see ya later Squidward, the door now opens to the outside of the house. If you were to open the door, it comes outside. So this is a major mistake here. First, it opens up like this, now it opens up like this, and I'm sorry guys, that's not how doors work. It is a cartoon, but that's not how doors work. Here's another mistake though, stay tuned, this one is just as bad.
SpongeBob.
Good morning, Squidward.
Alright, so take a look at this shot of Conch Street. As you can see, SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward's house all have these pathways, okay? They all look different, but they have a path getting to their house. Well, when Squidward hears SpongeBob's alarm clock go off in this episode, the ladder's pathway is missing. It's just gone. Poof, where is it? What's funny is it does appear in the episode, but during this one shot, the animators, I guess they just didn't want to draw it. They were feeling kind of lazy because it's not there. That's not it though. Believe it or not, this episode actually has 3 mistakes. Here's the 3rd one.
You did overlook one teensy little detail, however.
What's that, Squidward?
It's Sunday!
It's very easy to miss, but pay attention as before Squidward yells, "It's Sunday," SpongeBob's pupils become uncolored for a split second. They just have no color, and they're not supposed to look like that, dude. I mean, seriously, what a mistake. How does this even happen? And there's more. Let's move over to our next episode. Yeah, your boy Cartoon Corey is addicted to season 3 because I have yet another season 3 episode. I'm talking about Midlife Crustacean. Here's some clips from this episode because it's really funny.
Show up at my house at 8 o'clock.
I just want to warn you, Mr. Krabs, we're always fashionably late.
8:01 p.m.
Now, we might have covered this mistake in the past. I don't think we have, so I'm gonna make it quick, but during the panty raid scene, take a look at Mrs. Krabs' house.
For some credit, old man, we're panty professionals.
Good night, Mr. Krabs.
Good night, SpongeBob.
Eugene, lights out.
As you can see, it's blue. It's a beautiful home. Like, it's a very beautiful home, but it doesn't stay blue, as at the end of the episode when we see SpongeBob talking to a grounded Mr. Krabs, now it's pink. It just changes colors. I highly doubt anybody painted the house in between these scenes, so this was a bad mistake, and let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
you mind?
Don't worry, Squidward. We're boating buddies now.
Let's kick things off with a fairly good episode from SpongeBob Season 6. I'm talking about boating buddies. Here's the first mistake, roll the footage.
There is no we. Understand?
Quiet in the front, please.
Oh, I understand. I understand perfectly.
This first mistake is funny, as you can tell that the animators didn't think that we'd notice, but nah, Cartoon Corey has the eyes of a hawk. As during this classroom scene, when Mrs. Puff says, "Quiet in the front, please," take a look at SpongeBob's side belt through his desk, as his belt is missing. His pants are just brown. There should be his belt right there, but you can tell that because he was in the chair, the animators just were kind of lazy and didn't draw it, which I get, but hey, it's still a mistake. He should have his belt on, and let's keep it moving. Here's an even crazier mistake, guys. Roll the footage.
And that you didn't need me.
No, I didn't. I never said that. I don't need your help, and I don't need you, jerk.
So as you can see, in this scene where Squidward is talking to SpongeBob about him needing his help, Incidental 7 over here is pink. Alright, she's pink, remember this, you can see her right here. However, in the very next shot, she just changes colors. First she was pink, but now she's purple. Hey, she looks good purple, but she's supposed to be pink, and I don't think people can just change the color of their skin in the middle of a cartoon episode, so this was another mistake here. I don't know what happened, but yeah, she's not supposed to be purple, she's supposed to be pink. Believe it or not though, that's not it for this episode. 3 mistakes in one episode, damn. Here's the third one.
Squidward, you can have the $5 back. Mr. Krabs says that—
I don't care what Mr. Krabs says. I just want—
It happens back at the beginning of the episode, but when Squidward says, "I don't care what Mr. Krabs says," SpongeBob leans backwards slightly, and if you look closely, his black belt, which is, supposed to be black, turns white. It's not supposed to look like that. I mean, it looks cool, but it's not supposed to look like that. 3 mistakes in one episode, sheesh. And that's not it, guys. Let's head over to another episode with even more mistakes. Stay tuned, you will not believe what's coming up.
Oh my gosh! Jeffrey, jellyfish! Oh, wait, Jeffrey! I have to touch you!
Hey!
Here's a really quick mistake from SpongeBob Season 2. The episode is I'm Your Biggest Fanatic. I love this episode. Here's the mistake. Roll the footage.
Am I in the jelly splatters now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
This one is very easy to miss, but after Kevin's crown is stung by a jellyfish, if you look at one of his anchovy followers' eyes, yeah, one of the eyes disappears when the jellyfish swims by. It's just missing and it looks really bad, so yeah. But let's keep it moving, guys. Let's keep the video going. Stay tuned for some spicy mistakes. Okay, so hold up, guys. Do not click off of the video yet. I know we primarily talk about SpongeBob, but Nickelodeon also has this other awesome show called The Loud House, which is full of mistakes. Now, the episode in question is called Don't You Forget About Me, and for context, guys, listen closely, as the mistake has to do with these two characters right here, Lenny and Lily. All right, you can see images of them right here. Pay close attention to these two characters during these clips so you can catch the mistake. Roll the footage.
And tease.
Oh. So funny. This day hasn't gone at all like I thought it would.
Were you guys able to catch it? Well, I did, and it's pretty bad, as when Lenny stops pushing Lily's pram, her head is disconnected from her body for 2 frames. What? That is a bad mistake, dude. Like, the head is just disconnected from the body. How does that even happen? That is just really bad animation. And guys, here's another mistake from this episode. This time though, pay close attention again to the character Lenny, as the mistake has to do with him. Watch him closely. Roll the footage.
Do you know where Coach Nibbles is?
Niblick? He just went to his office to make a phone call. He said it was urgent.
This one's very similar to the last one, as when Lori and Lenny run up to a student and ask where the coach is, Lenny's left hand is disconnected for an entire frame. His left hand is just not attached, and yeah, those are 2 really bad mistakes. Now, we're gonna get back to SpongeBob, guys, but leave a comment down below letting me know other cartoons you want me to cover on the channel, Easter eggs or mistakes from other cartoons. But anyways, let's get back to SpongeBob.
Perfect storm.
Well, just leave my present over on the present table. I'm so excited, I've been waiting for a whole year.
Next up is another episode from season 6, that being Overbooked. This episode is all about SpongeBob being, well, overbooked. The dude just doesn't have time for anything. It seems though that the animators also didn't have time, as they overlooked a couple of mistakes in this episode that I'm about to expose. Roll the footage.
Happy birthday! No!
You finally made it!
Alright, so when Patrick's rock first opens in this scene, take a look at his party hat, okay? It's red. You can see it right here. Remember, it's red. However, in the next scene, this randomly changes. Like, coloring mistakes like this are hilarious when it just randomly changes. As it was red, but his party hat now changes to purple. Like, what? What's going on here? Like, how does it just change colors randomly? That looks like lazy animation to me, and that's not it for this episode. Here's another mistake.
Further delay, I shall initiate proto sequence.
Sandy, I hate to delay the proceedings, but I forgot to mail in this mail.
Take a look at these shots of Sandy cheeks. Our girl Sandy has a big furry tail. It's a big part of her character because she's a squirrel and squirrels have tails, right? Well, in Overbooked, the animators forgot about this, as when Sandy says, without further delay, I shall initiate the proto sequence, her tail is missing. And it's not because of the angle, they just were too lazy to draw Sandy Cheeks' tail. Give my girl her tail back, she needs it. And guys, there's another mistake in this episode. Roll the footage.
Have I?
Hello? My birthday cake!
Oh yeah, that! I'm just getting to that. That's why I was here in town.
It's really easy to miss, like very easy to miss. But before SpongeBob walks away to get a cake, man, now I want cake, guys. I'm hungry. Cake is so good. But as he walks away to get a cake, take a look at his left leg, as it's entirely white for a split second. I mean, don't get me wrong, SpongeBob's socks are supposed to be white, but his leg is supposed to be yellow. So this was another just really bad mistake. This episode's pretty rough in terms of mistakes, guys, but let's keep it moving and head over to another episode with even more spicy mistakes. You don't want to miss them.
The one that's obviously not a robot! Okay. Ow! Why'd you do that? You told me to. I told you to hit the robot!
Here's another quick mistake from another cartoon we haven't really covered before, that being The Amazing World of Gumball. We're always talking about Nickelodeon on this channel. It's about time we talk about Cartoon Network a little bit. Anyways, the episode can be found in the episode The Robot, and for context, it has to do with this lovely character right here, Gumball, okay? So pay attention to him. Roll that footage.
What?
Cupcake! Cupcake! What do you think you're doing? When I said you could copy me, I didn't mean steal my life!
So during this cafeteria scene where Gumball, the character we just mentioned, yells at Bobert, what a weird name, for about a brief moment, if you watch closely, this dude's entire mouth becomes the same color as his head. It's not supposed to look like that. I don't know how this happened. What a weird mistake, but okay, back to SpongeBob. But remember guys, leave a comment, let me know other cartoon mistakes you want me to cover. Any other cartoon on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, who knows? I'll even do The Simpsons if you guys want it, but yeah, let's head over to SpongeBob. This next section is all about OG SpongeBob, the classics. I'm talking about the very first Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode. Damn, this episode makes me feel old because it came out so long ago. Here are some funny and hilarious clips from this episode because it's a really good one. Then we'll get into the mistakes. Roll the footage.
Here comes the TV repairman.
What do you want from us?
Hold on, just let me look at you. This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
Now, one thing I missed though back when I was a kid watching this episode was the mistakes. Here's the first one.
And I'll be taking that.
Ah! Help! Help! Help!
It's working.
This first one is weird, and it kind of took me a couple of seconds to realize that it was a mistake. So, at one point, SpongeBob hands Patrick his purse and peers out from behind the building. But when this happens, if you look, the purse can be seen floating beside him. He isn't actually holding it, the purse is just literally floating there. Like I said, it's a weird mistake, you guys might not be catching it, I'm gonna zoom in, but that purse is just floating there, and yeah, talk about a weird mistake, and there's more. Here's another mistake from this episode.
Excuse me, Mermaid Man.
What do you want? Oh, this better be good.
This'll cheer you up. We're almost done painting your invisible boatmobile.
This is another one that's easy to miss, but once you see it, you'll see it every time you re-watch the episode, as it seems that SpongeBob's pores are reversed when he says, "Excuse me, mermaid man." Normally, SpongeBob looks like this, and I want you to pay attention to the holes all over SpongeBob. Those are his pores. A lot of you know this, but to the younger viewers, pay attention to the holes. As you can see in this shot, they look like this. This is how they're supposed to look. But during this one scene in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 1, his pores are just reversed. Here's a side-by-side where you can see him normally, and then with the pores reversed, you can see it now. It looks pretty bad. Next up, let's head back to where it all began, SpongeBob Season 1 with the episode Jellyfishing, an iconic episode. This episode's so much fun. It really brings me back to my younger years, but what I missed as a kid were the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
That ought to do it.
Okay, so for this one to really make sense, I need to remind you guys of a big part of this episode. So as you can see, Squidward's in this giant cast. And in order for him to hold his jellyfishing net, SpongeBob and Patrick do this. Take a look at this clip real quick.
Firmly grasp it!
Ouch! But as you can see, it's like stuffed into Squidward's hand. He isn't actually holding it. It was like stabbed into this dude's hand, so he wouldn't be able to change which hand he's holding it in. Well, that's exactly the mistake, as if you watch throughout the episode, the jellyfishing net changes hands multiple times despite this not really being possible. Again, it was like stabbed into this dude's hand, which ouch, that would really hurt. But more importantly, dude wouldn't be able to change the hand that's holding the jellyfishing net, so a mistake here. Next up is a quick one from the Patrick Star Show episode, Kopnodian Heritage Festival. Roll the footage and pay attention to Cecil over here, as the mistake has to do with him, more specifically his face.
It seems the boy is sweat shy. Would you mind turning away?
It only happens for one frame, so it's very easy to miss, but when Cecil over here talks to these older men in the Flop Sweat Lodge, dude's entire mustache turns blue for a whole frame. Like, what? It's not supposed to be blue. This is how Cecil normally looks. It's supposed to look like this. But for this one frame, dude's mustache is blue. It looks fresh. I guess he's like an emo kid. He dyed his mustache blue, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's move over to another episode with more mistakes.
SpongeBob, will you make that racket stop? SpongeBob, you open this door right then!
Season 4 Squidward is an interesting episode where SpongeBob makes a puppet version of Squidward that people like more than regular Squidward. I don't know about you guys, but that would really like upset me. That would cheese me, dude, if people liked a puppet version of Cartoon Corey more than real Cartoon Corey. But anyways, this episode has a mistake. Keep those eyes peeled, guys. I want you to spot this one without my help. Leave a comment on what the mistake is before I reveal it. Roll the footage.
Can I take your order? No, I don't like your attitude, bub. Is this what the Krusty Krab calls friendly service?
So take a look at this shot of the inside of the Krusty Krab, okay? It looks like this. We've got Squidward's cash register right here. There's the order window where SpongeBob would give Squidward the Krabby Patties, and there's the door to Mr. Krabs' office, okay? It's a really big part of the inside of the Krusty Krab. Well, during this scene when Sandals over here is placing his order, both the door to Mr. Krabs' office and the window to the kitchen are missing. This is a really weird mistake to make. It seems the animators were just too lazy to draw something as simple as Mr. Krabs' door, and I mean, like, this window right here is so important. The door I get, but the window to the kitchen where SpongeBob literally pops out all the time, how did the animators miss that? But whatever, here's another mistake.
That was awful!
Take a look at this old geezer right here. This is Incidental 92. He is this like greenish color, okay? He's been other colors, but literally 90% of his appearances, he's been this green tone. Now, the mistake is that in Squidward, during this one shot, when Squidward is tweaking and snapping on mini Squidward over here, Incidental 92 is incorrectly colored as purple, which is just totally a mistake. Because as you guys see, like literally early on in the episode, the dude is green, and then he just changes colors. I don't know if that's possible. He looks good purple, but that's not how it works, guys. You can't just change the color of your skin in a matter of scenes, so yeah, a mistake. Let's keep this party going though, guys, and head over to our next episode. We've gotten to see many grandmas in SpongeBob. We've seen SpongeBob's grandmother in this iconic episode here, and we've also seen Mr. Krabs' grandmother before, even Squidward's. But in the season 7 episode, Grandma's Secret Recipe, we get to meet Planktons. Take a look at this.
That looks simply delightful.
You once told me that this was your favorite flavor growing up as a child.
Ration?
I will say, as much as I like the plot for this episode, it is one of the most pointless episodes of SpongeBob ever, and it is kind of boring, so I don't recommend it. And there's no surprise that there's a mistake in the episode. Roll that footage!
Oh, great Grammy Ma, you win again! All hail the great Canasta Master!
This one's very subtle, but once I point it out, you'll see that it's like really bad. So when Plankton and SpongeBob are playing cards over here, the animation cell for the table in the background, this one right here, seems to be placed above SpongeBob's. So if you watch closely, parts of SpongeBob's left hand are erased or cut off multiple times when it goes near the table. I'm zooming in and putting it in slow motion right here, and look, you can see that his fingers get like cut off because they go like behind the table or something. It's a weird animation error. How this happened, I don't know, but they gotta be more careful because this one just looks rough, dude. What?
Dish. I wonder what it could mean. Shh, quiet. Try to think.
Here's another one from the Patrick Star Show. I really do feel like this show is overrated. It's a bit of a weird spinoff, but anyways, here's the first mistake.
It's Robot Gardener Day!
I can't hear you because it's Robot Gardener Day.
Okay, so this character right here is Incidental 41, okay, and he looks like this. Now, in Patrick's Alley, we get this baby version of him. He's so adorable, I want to pinch his cheeks. Now, what's important is that Incidental 41's mouth, right here, his mouth and lips, are always purple, okay? Even in this episode, the baby version, we even see him with a purple mouth. But during this scene, when the babies are seen on the lawn, Incidental 41's mouth, well, baby Incidental 41's mouth, is awkwardly colored yellow randomly just for this scene. Like I said, it's purple throughout the episode, but in this one scene, it's yellow, and that is incorrect. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just a character's mouth, but yeah, this is a mistake, and there's another one in this episode.
Big mouth.
We might have covered this one in the past, so I'm actually gonna keep it quick, but while Patrick and Squidina are fishing, there's one frame where Squidina's left eye is purple, the same color as her body, so totally a mistake here, and guys, there's more to come. Let's head over to another episode. Up next is another season 4 episode, this time, The Scent of Money. Now this episode's actually pretty good. Take a look at some of these funny scenes.
You said that pets were nothing but disease-carrying vermin that should never be brought to the workplace?
It sure is hard being triggered.
Yeah.
Dude, seeing Mr. Krabs dressed up like a lady like this is so funny. Like, look at this dude. But this scene's also where we can spot a mistake. Roll the footage.
You look fine to me. Quit being such a baby and start making me some money. Excuse me, pregnant.
Yeah, so when Mr. Krabs is freaking out at Gary and just being like a psycho and says, now quit being such a baby and start making me some money, Mr. Krabs has problems, dude, what? Anyways though, as Mr. Krabs says this, the spots and spiral on Gary's shell disappears, like it's just gone. It's so weird seeing Gary like this. I'm zooming in, and him with just a bare pink shell is so weird. And it's not the only time it happens in this episode. It also happens during this scene.
Oh, who do you think you are? Jackpot!
Yeah, so take a look at this during the arcade scene. As Mr. Krabs lifts Gary up, at least the swirl's there, but the dots are gone. A little reminder for you guys, this is normally how Gary looks. He has the swirl and he has these dots right here, but when Mr. Krabs picks him up in this shot, those dots are just gone. Where'd they go? They're missing. SpongeBob Season 7 has a lot of hit or miss episodes, but the episode Welcome to Bikini Bottom Triangle is actually pretty good. It's one of the stronger episodes out of the season. Here, take a look for yourself. Take a look at some of these hilarious gags from the episode.
Yeah, backwards. What a stupid idea that.
Okay, it is mistake time, guys. Here's mistake number 1. Put your mistake glasses on and let's find it together.
And those two couldn't have made it, so it must have been that rotten Pipsqueak plankton. I gotta stop that poor excuse of a life form from it.
It happens really, really fast, but when Mr. Krabs says, so it must have been that rotten Pipsqueak plankton, this man seriously has beef with plankton, but when he says it, take a look at our favorite Krab's left sleeve. As it turns red, it turns to the same color as his skin. Well, that's going to do it for today's video, guys, but if you want more mistakes just like this video, click this video right here. Do it, click this video. I talk about plenty of more mistakes in SpongeBob and other cartoons, and you don't want to miss them. They're wild. Seriously, there's one mistake in this video that almost got SpongeBob canceled, so click the video. Let's go and watch it together. I'll see you guys over there. Click it, do it.